Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna be reacting to
Unpopular K-pop opinions because Jennie had the nerve to do this.
do what?
This.
What?
This.
Let's
Zen.
see.
1. Jennie's surprise drop Zen was a slap to my face. After suffering through the mediocrity
Slapped
that is
Wow.
her.
mantra,
Slapped her.
Wow.
Zen is Jennie ripping the leash off, flipping the table, and saying you wanted a moment? Here it is. And girl, did she deliver. Zen isn't trying to rewrite the rules of pop music. It's not some avant-garde masterpiece that reinvents the wheel. But what it is and what makes it so electrifying is the sheer audacity with which it's executed. The production is a feral
Yeah.
animal,
I
industrial,
agree. I feel
jagged,
like
and unapologetic.
Mantra was for the commercial, for the mass media. Zen is for her people.
Now that you said, I think Mantra would be a good commercial song.
Oh yeah, it
Like
gets
a
target.
makeup or
Hmm.
something. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Energetically dissonant. It's the kind of sound that doesn't just ask for your attention, it demands it. The verses are stripped down to their bones, all stomping percussion and eerie. Tension like a predator circling its prey, and then the chorus? Absolute carnage. It's a sensory overload of distorted electro snarls and sliding beats that feel like they're ripping through the track's
This
very
album's gonna be
foundation.
really
This
cool.
isn't just a song, it's an experience. And the structure? Deceptively simple yet devilishly effective. On the surface, it's a straightforward two-verse, two-chorus setup, but the brilliance lies in the way it weaponizes contrast. The verses are barren and brooding, all negative space and creeping unease, while the chorus is pure unrelenting chaos. That tension and push and pull between emptiness and excess are what keeps you hooked. It's like being on a roller coaster where the climb feels endless,
It's very
only to be hurled
exciting.
into a drop
It
so
makes you
intense
more
it leaves
excited
your
for the album to see it in its entirety.
It was a good teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
stomach in free fall. And the best part? Jennie is the one strapping you in and hitting the gas. Her charisma is the glue that holds this wild ride together. Even when the melodies dip into unconventional territory, she sells them with a conviction that makes them stick in your brain. Now let's talk visuals because the music
Honestly,
Oh.
I can't understand if she liked it or not.
She liked it. She
She's
loves
she's
it. She loves
she's
it.
giving it a lot of backhanded
You,
compliments.
what's the backhanded part of it? I don't hear it.
No, it's just like, oh, empty stomach, empty this, empty that. I feel like she's giving a lot of backhanded
I didn't catch
compliments.
that shade.
I'm catching a lot of shade. Like it seems like she liked it, but there's a lot of shadiness in there. I feel like I don't know.
Overall, I feel like she likes it, but she has a lot to say. She's very dramatic.
Mm.
video for Zen isn't just a flex, it's a manifesto, high fashion, high concept, high art. It's everything Jennie does best, but cranked up to 11.
Yes.
The XG influence is impossible to ignore, and finding out they
XG?
share the same director, Chef's Kiss. This guy
Okay,
clearly
she's
understands
shading.
how to
She's shading. What XG got to do with this? I see it though.
I see it. Yeah, because you see the wolf XG, like
Damn.
it's wolf
She's
thing.
shady. Yeah,
Hmm,
she's shady.
interesting.
I don't know if she likes it.
That's what I'm saying. I can't tell. Like, there's a lot of backhanded compliments in
Can you
there.
go back real quick? Okay, go ahead.
ignore, and finding out they share the same director, Chef's Kiss. High fashion, high concept, high art. It's everything Jennie does best, but cranked up to 11. The XG influence is impossible to ignore, and finding out they share
She
the
did
same
say
director,
XG.
Chef's Kiss. This guy clearly understands how to translate an artist's identity into a visual feast, and Jennie eats it up. Every frame is dripping in intention, from the avant-garde styling to the chaotic yet controlled cinematography.
Now I
This
do
is
see XG.
I didn't see it watching it, but I do see it now. Yeah, there's some references that are similar. Yeah.
isn't just a music video, it's Jennie standing on a pedestal, middle fingers in the air, telling the world I'm not here to be anyone's puppet anymore. And while we're on the subject of puppetry, let's address the YG-sized elephant in the room. It's no accident that nearly every Blackpink solo project has leaned into alter ego concepts. It's like they're collectively screaming we've been suffocating in a creative straitjacket and now we're finally free to breathe. And can
Well, I guess.
Valid.
I
That's a
guess.
valid
But
point.
then again, it's always gonna be like that with an artist solo work because it's just gonna
Yeah.
be their point of
Yeah.
view and not point of view of the whole group. Because you have to kind of manage that when there's others involved in a masterpiece.
Yeah, like in a
It's always
group,
gonna be that way.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of sacrifice, and like some
Yeah,
groups, maybe
and
they
that's
just have
okay.
like a decision maker who makes those, not even
Yeah,
not the member. So it's just different idea. Like
yeah. It's no shade.
yeah. I don't think it's shade. It's just like she's saying it's a shade to YG. I don't think it's shade. I
Yeah,
think we just
but it's
have
not
to.
that deep.
Yeah, I think we just have to understand that
Mm-hmm.
YG has a style, and they make the decisions because they're
Mm.
the people that are in the contract. They owe them, in a sense, because no, that's they gave them the training. That's the debt. They have to pay it now. So you
Mm.
pay the debt, and once the debt is paid, you get free of the contract. You go solo. You do what you want. So it's trade-off.
Can you blame them? YG spent years reducing Blackpink to a one-dimensional brand, so the moment they taste freedom, they're diving headfirst into uncharted waters, exploring new sounds, new aesthetics, and most importantly, new versions of themselves. Overall, Zen feels like the culmination of everything Jennie's been holding back for years. It's raw, it's unfiltered, and it's unapologetically her. If this is the caliber of music she's bringing to the table post-YG, then buckle
can't
up
wait for
because
her
she's about to
album.
redefine what it means to go solo. This isn't just the most interesting Blackpink release in years. It's a declaration of artistic independence. If the rest of her album is even half as daring as this track, then we're in for a masterclass in how to break.
I think it's gonna be pretty daring because even this girl K-pop Spy, she already came at Jennie for the features, so that's in having so many features in itself is daring.
I came for her for the features too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, so like that is daring because a lot of people are coming for it. So
Wouldn't you say that with those features, you also have to kind of balance out what you want to do and also consider the feature? Because these features are not just regular features he has. She has some heavy hitter features.
yeah, but I do think those features is gonna be her idea. She just talks to the featured artist about like
I hope
some
so.
improvements because otherwise, it's their song. She would be the
Yeah.
feature.
Because you see, I
You know?
like this song. It's her solo, 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 solo.
No, I think that
So
it's gonna be fine.
So I'm wondering what's gonna be the contrast to the songs with features gonna give.
I think features with the rap artist Dochi, it's gonna be rap songs. Features with Kali Uchi, maybe gonna be a little dreamy vibe because Kali Uchi is like her vibe is dreamy. Who else she got there? I don't remember off the top of my head, but
Is Doja Cat on it?
oh, Dua
Is she-
Lipa. No,
Oh,
Dua Lipa.
Dua
She has
Lipa?
Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa is gonna be a pop
Oh.
song, kind of like Mantra.
Oh.
Doja Cat is I think it's Lisa.
With Lisa?
Ray and Doja Cat. I think it's Lisa.
Wow.
Free from the mold. 2. aespa's B-sides are the definition of just existing. Nothing matches and the pieces don't even fit
This
together.
is not giving B side. Is this the B side?
No, we're talking about aespa.
Oh, but hey, back to Jennie.
What about
Was
it?
that a B side?
Of course.
Oh my god, that cannot be a B side.
I think so.
Wow.
I mean, I guess it's pre-release single, so no, it wouldn't be. It would be A side.
Okay.
Honestly, A side, B side, that's K-pop terms. This is not a K-pop album. We gotta drop it.
Okay.
It's a pre-release single. Period. Anyway, aespa's B-side at the definition of just exist. No, aespa's B-sides are really good. Actually, we reacted to the whole album. They dropped the mini album.
Yeah,
the
I like
B-sides
it.
were fire.
I
Yeah.
love it.
It's like SM went into their vault, grabbed a bunch of random demos
Oh.
collecting dust, slapped a glossy
Whoa.
production code on them, and called it a day. The disconnect
Bon.
between their B-sides
And why are we talking about this now? They didn't drop anything new lately, so I don't know why is this a subject.
and the title tracks is so glaring it's almost laughable. Take Girls as a title track, edgy cyberpunk vibes with that whole digital aespa multiverse shtick, and then you dive into their B-sides, expecting some kind of cohesive narrative or sonic continuation. But no, you're hit with something like ICU, which feels like it belongs in the credits of a mid-2000s teen drama. Where's the futuristic energy? Where's the consistency? Then there's Illusion. It's fine by itself, but alongside something like Girls, the tonal whip.
Well, so we don't know these songs. She seems to talk about the old albums, but she does have a point in the lack of consistency between the songs because in the album when we did do the B-sides reaction, the songs were a little random. However, I just feel like that's how K-pop is. Songs are random. There's no like
Wait a
sequence in an
minute.
album, so it's what they just do what everybody does.
So, do we want the artist to have the freedom, or do we want to box them in? Because we just
Right.
dragged Jennie
Right.
and Blackpink for being boxed in one sound, one note.
Right.
But when
Hypocrisy
aespa
at
do
its
it,
finest.
Whiplash is real. You've got this aggressive experimental title track with its clunky yet intentional glitchcore production, and then this oddly playful B-side sneaks in like it missed the memo.
You didn't start your business to do taxes. Good thing we did. File with Block Advisors today.
How are you supposed to take their next level narrative seriously when the music can't even decide what story it's telling? Even when they try to experiment, it feels forced or out of place, like Lucid Dream, a track that could have been hauntingly beautiful but instead meanders aimlessly with no real payoff. These songs feel like SM's attempt to prove they can do variety, but instead, it comes off like they're throwing spaghetti at a wall to see what sticks. I mean, look at Armageddon, with a title.
Yeah, spaghetti at the wall. We say shit at the wall here, but yeah, we've
I
been
like
saying
spaghetti
that.
on the wall.
Whatever.
But it seems quite wasteful. I would rather eat the spaghetti.
The point is, everybody in K-pop does that. Why are we focusing on aespa?
Yeah.
That's just K-pop. That's literally the definition of K-pop.
It's
Produce a
exactly
lot of
that.
shit, throw it at the wall. What sticks makes money.
See if it does numbers. It doesn't do numbers. We gotta move on
Yeah,
to the next demo.
that's literally the K-pop industry.
Yeah.
Like, That, you'd think the album would deliver some apocalyptic bangers, right? Wrong, sure. The title track might give you a glimpse of chaos and high stakes, but then you hit the B-sides and it's like the end of the world suddenly turned into a lazy Sunday picnic. Love Chat and Bahama had no business being an end of the world themed album. Where's the fire? Where's the drama? Instead, you get this whimsical sugary fluff that feels more like a preschool sing-along than an apocalyptic anthem. The problem here.
And we have criticized this before a lot. I just feel like this one is
Seeing it side by side next to the Jennie criticism is just like unfair.
out of place and invalid to me because it applies to everyone.
Yeah.
So how can you criticize a specific group for this? I just don't see it.
And also, we seen the change of aespa. Like, we reacted to their previous tour, and their sound was so different.
Yeah. So
they have, at least SM gives them the freedom to like change sound.
If anything, seems like it. Yeah.
Here is SM's inability to understand that cohesion matters. An album should tell a story or at least maintain a consistent mood. But instead, we're left with these whiplash.
I agree with what she's saying. Albums should maintain consistent mood, and we had this argument in one of the videos. It just nobody does it anymore. Like there's very rarely you see, and like Rose had it kind of. Her album had a theme, like you could follow along.
I think overall, okay, we're gonna fight to the end of this. There's always gonna be a theme or a point. It's just if you get it, if it's received.
I don't think so. No, I don't think everybody has it. I think nowadays, because you have to understand. No, but the history of albums back in the day when you played on a cassette or when you played on a CD, you were playing them in order.
Because you didn't know what was next. You gotta play it in order.
But you listen to it in order, it flows through. Now the songs, they just randomly get recommended to you. You play it. The album doesn't have the same significance. Like album now is just a collection of tracks. It used to be a story. Now
because they do sit on a table together and say, okay, what should be the order of this? This gotta go first. This gotta go next. So are you saying they just put it in random order?
Yeah.
No.
Flash-inducing collections of random tracks that seem to actively sabotage whatever vision is possible.
What iconic albums have dropped in the past 10 years?
That had like a sequence?
Yeah.
I could tell you from the American standpoint.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, for example, Beyonce in her Lemonade album.
Yes, agreed. Beyonce, but she's a 2000s artist. Yes.
Also, it like some of the ending of the previous song.
No, I completely agree. But that's my point when I'm making last video. 2000s artists, they still do that because that's how they were raised to do. I agree with that. Beyonce, Eminem, who still makes music? Jay-Z, Nas,
Lil Nas X. His album does that very beautifully. I love that, and that's what. Okay. You know when an album is good when I say there's no skits because they blend in.
Okay, so no, fair.
That was a beautiful
fair.
Album. Beautiful album.
2 albums in the past decade that we can name.
Well, because I'm trying to think of someone young that is not trained from the 2000s to do that.
Mm-hmm. No, it's fair. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying it's minimal to what it used to be. Like every album had a story. Now it's.
But then we didn't have that many artists. I feel like.
You just said there's way more artists nowadays.
Yeah,
more music.
Yeah. It's overpopulated. Everyone can have an album now.
Well, then
independently, everyone can. Yes, I can have an album.
You could have an album.
Let me come out with an album.
Yeah, you might as well go to Moldova, represent them for Eurovision too.
Yeah.
But we watch these videos like the best, not the best, but Billboard Hot 100 of 2004.
Yeah.
There's a shitload of artists on there. There isn't that exactly 10. But so I'm saying there was artists back then too. There's a lot of artists.
No.
Yes.
Because not everyone. Okay, some people are album makers. Some people just can only do singles, and that's and eventually they think, okay, let me make some more money. Let me put all my singles in one thing and call it a day. But they're not here to stay.
I agree that some people are singles versus album. That is true. There are some people like that.
But this group, aespa, they trying to be like, they dropping like albums, and they give me a vibe. Like the album give me, okay, this is their vibe this time. Like that teenage punk-esque kind of vibe, and it's multifaceted. It's not just one note, one sound. And I feel like they can show a story. It's just, do I understand the story? If I understand the story, then the album is good. If I don't understand the story, they missed the mark. They need to take it back to the drawing board.
I don't feel they had a story in their album, the one that we reacted.
Sure, okay.
Trying to sell. 3. Maybe the Illit doesn't fit the cute concept argument is just people projecting their.
for the last album they dropped.
Yeah.
I told you, it gives me like that Avril Lavigne little punk esque, but then there was some girliness to it. Like she had a softer edge to her too as well.
Their own preferences
I
onto
get
the
the
group.
girl.
Most of these complaints aren't about whether the members actually fit the concept. It's about people wanting another dark, edgy girl crush group because that's what they're used to. It's like they can't handle a group stepping outside the overdone girl crush mold, so they nitpick and act like the concept is some massive misstep. The truth is, Illit's cute and youthful image isn't the problem. It's the fact that people are stuck on what they think the group should be based on a few survival show performances. Yes, some of the members like Yuna and Iroha might have shined in darker or more hip-hop oriented stages during Are You Next? But that doesn't mean they're locked into that style forever. Survival shows are designed to showcase versatility, not pigeonhole idols into one concept for the rest of their careers, and honestly, the cute concept is refreshing in a market that's been drowning in girl crush for years. People keep saying they want cute concepts to make a comeback, but the second a group actually does it,
I don't.
they're met with backlash. It's the same tired cycle we saw with Kepler. Everyone whined about Wadeda being another girl crush song, but when they came back with Up, suddenly it was too cute and too childish. Pick a lane. You can't complain about oversaturation and then turn around and hate on groups for trying something different. Yuna's mature visuals, Iroha's hip-hop edge, and Minju and Mocha's balanced aesthetics don't clash with Illit's concept. They add depth to it. Visuals don't dictate whether someone fits a concept. It's about how the group as a whole executes it, and Illit is doing just fine. Girl crush is getting stale anyway. It's starting to feel like a checklist. Leather outfits, intense stares, and lyrics about being a rich boss. It's not edgy anymore, it's predictable. And while we're on the topic, let's talk about how people love to throw around the word forced when it comes to concepts. The irony is that no one
Wow.
bats an eye when literal teenagers are shoved into hypermature girl crush concepts, singing about independence and securing bags when they're barely old enough to drive. Y'all
I bet an eye. I've called it out multiple times.
Do you get dragged? Do you feel like?
Yeah. When I when I called out Baby Monster for it, they're like, oh, you don't have to actually do the stuff that you talk about. Remember when they dropped the whole when we did
What?
they dropped the little teasers for the songs and I was dragging like what the fuck is this? They talk about they shit. Oh, they got the money, they got the coin. Remember that video?
What?
Yeah, I got dragged. Yeah, but I did
No.
call out like, what the fuck? What the
No.
fuck are you singing
What
about?
are you
These
thinking
girls are
about?
16, 17-year-old girls. They talk about they got the coin, they got the money, they got the
Yeah,
brands.
to
Like,
me,
what?
I'm
Make it
like,
relatable.
why?
What are you talking about?
know exactly who I'm talking about. But the second a group leans into something age appropriate like
I
a
feel
cute
like
or
it's like, don't you get in trouble if you say I'm a doctor, but you don't have no license? Shouldn't you get dragged for that?
Well, I believe that's punishable by serious shit.
Yeah, so it's
That's way
punishable.
worse
It's
than.
punishable for you to go
Yeah.
out here and say you're flexing a certain lifestyle and you're not. That should be punishable too.
Yeah, well,
because it's very misleading, and it
I
causes
guess
a lot of social
to be
media
fair though, no,
anxiety,
to
bullying.
right, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, this is we should be able to distinguish a work of art, right? Whenever rappers say they killed somebody, doesn't mean they did. So,
Maybe they did it like figuratively.
but it wasn't that like the idea, the whole Thugs case, that you cannot take the lyrics for a fact. It's a work of art. So I guess to apply that principle, I guess the people don't have to be rich to sing they're rich, right? It's just a fake idea,
Yeah.
fake persona that they're creating. It's like a lot of Eminem songs, all the Slim Shady shit that he does, all the nasty stuff he talk about. Doesn't mean he'd actually do that. It's just it's a book, like a story. So
I don't know how I feel about it.
I
Honestly.
I agree with you. To me, at
It's-
least, when going to Thugs, back to Thugs case, you see rappers, they say, oh, you put bodies in the ground. You can believe that if they come up in the streets, you believe that. And then when there's Drake saying he put bodies in the ground, you look at him, really, Drake?
But when he says it, it's like metaphorically speaking.
But I'm just saying, like, you don't have the same belief that you look like Drake, really.
Yeah,
So-
but I'm not understanding Drake to actually do that. I'm thinking he's saying that metaphorically. Now with these girls, when they say that we pop and we this, we that, what
Right?
do they mean by that?
They mean real. They
They
mean like,
really
oh,
mean.
right.
They
It-
really
it
do
doesn't.
that.
It doesn't feel like it comes up metaphorical, right?
Metaphorically.
Yeah.
youthful image, it's suddenly forced or inauthentic. Make it make sense. If anything feels disingenuous, it's watching minors try to sell a concept that's clearly designed for an
Like,
older audience.
If Baby
Illit's
Monster said, "Oh yeah, we do," yeah, they really do numbers.
Yeah, that's
for
something
real.
they can flex. Yeah.
But when they say, "Oh, we buy Lambos, we buy,"
Yeah, there was something like that.
that's the girl.
Yeah, that's some of the shit they say.
concept, on the other hand, actually aligns with their age and energy, and that's a good thing.
What the
Oh,
fuck
we
is this?
finished?
No, I don't think so. There was we like halfway through the video.
4. The fetishization of psychoanalyzing idols has spiraled out of control. Fans have collectively decided that idols aren't autonomous human beings with private lives, but instead some kind of Rubik's Cube of trauma to be cracked open by the unlicensed therapists of Twitter. Every blink, every breath, every accidental twitch of an eyebrow becomes a Ouija board for fans to summon their own insecurities.
I think a little truth is there. I feel like fans are overly concerned for the idols being mistreated because it is rampant in the industry. So every time they post something sad, oh, the label must be, like doing something to them. I do
Do you
feel it's
think
it's a little tough.
Do you
Yeah,
think the idols do that intentionally because they know like the fans how they're gonna get this? Like how, like for example, here in the states,
maybe.
someone says, "Oh, this person does this," and they say it so publicly. So what are what do you want? Are you expecting the people in your comments to go to that other person's comments and then shred them to pieces?
Yeah.
They know what they're
I think
doing.
for the most part, people know what they're doing. Sometimes
Yeah.
maybe it's an accident. You just like, I don't know, maybe especially if you're a little,
They
drunk
say,
or whatever.
please don't send hate to the other. You doing this post is gonna send hate
Yeah,
to the other
no, I'm
person.
just saying, like, if you're a little intoxicated, whatever, you might, post something you don't like. It's just for a joke because you think, at that time you think it's funny or whatever, and people might mistake it. But for the most part, I do believe, yeah, they know what they're doing.
And
Mm.
fantasies, which is a gross violation of boundaries. Take Stray Kids Han, for instance, a masterclass in how far people will go to ignore reality in favor of their own delusions. The man has literally said he's in a better place. His members have echoed the sentiment, and yet there's this persistent faction of fans who've somehow convinced themselves he's staging his happiness like it's a Broadway production. Do you even hear yourselves? What kind of mental gymnastics does it take to hear someone talk about their well being and go, nope, I know better than you about you? It's not just arrogant, it's dehumanizing. Han isn't some cryptic protagonist in your Netflix binge watch whose every smile hides a plot twist for you to uncover.
This is a tough one, what she's saying, because he is saying he's in a better place, but watching the videos, at least, we haven't done the SKZ codes and whatever in a minute now. But back when we were doing it, I think like summertime last time we did it, he did kind of seem off. Like he was sad though. I ain't gonna lie. Like he didn't like before when you used to do it like earlier last year, he was like all making jokes, happy, and then it kind of felt like he changed a little bit, got sadder.
Is he not allowed to be sad? He's
No,
a
he
human
is allowed,
person.
but I'm just saying I understand where the fans are coming from though. And then
Oh,
the response was, oh, he's just an introvert. He decided to be more introverted. I just don't feel that's something you control like
I
that. There's a
mean,
switch. You're like, oh, let me
yeah.
just flip it. I'm gonna be an introvert from now on.
But then
I
again,
don't think
if the
so.
person is not saying, "Oh, I need help," then
That is true. That's true. But I think the fans' reasoning is that, oh, he's afraid to say it. Because of the label.
mm,
I don't know.
like Britney Spears, she was in a conservatorship, and she would leave like little signs.
Right. Yeah.
Then he
So,
will leave little signs. I feel like
I don't
no.
know.
He's a living, breathing person. If he says he's doing better, maybe just believe
I
him
think
instead of
so.
spinning conspiracy theories to entertain your own ego. And let's talk about the epidemic of internet diagnoses. Because apparently every fan is now a board certified psychologist thanks to their extensive training on TikTok, a 10-second clip of an idol yawning or zoning out, and suddenly they're being diagnosed with depression, anxiety, or burnout by people who wouldn't know a therapy session transcript if it hit them in the face. It's one thing to care about someone's well being, but it's a whole other beast to act
Yeah,
like you're
because for example, if you see like a person yawning, they must be tired. So the fans would be, oh, they practice so much, they don't get to sleep, they're tired. In reality,
Mm,
they could just be playing video games late at night. They're tired
mm,
because they played a game.
true.
qualified to assess their mental state based on a fan cam, publicly speculating about
But
someone's mental health.
a lot of people they can relate because they go through similar situations. Maybe like for example, what's not comfortably talked about in the K-pop industry is eating habits, because for us we'll watch like they sit in a table full of food. No one, not one person's gonna eat a morsel of bread or touch a single plate of food. And to me, I can identify that as a this they're not they don't feel too comfortable eating, maybe not comfortable eating on camera, they're not comfortable eating those food in particular, or they are going through their own personal situations of how they feel about their own body. But then again, why are they placing those kind of situations in the first place on camera? If they do have an aversion to food or anything like that, why are they having to sit in front of like a dishes and dishes and dishes of food? People are gonna be able to dissect that. So don't put yourself in situations where people are observing and dissecting. They're doing this for the content, for the commotion and for people to talk about it.
I just don't think that's a problem. People, guys, not eating because it's they put themselves. They want that like bodybuilders. They know, okay, I'm gonna have to show. I'm gonna have to prep. I'm gonna be on a diet for the X amount of weeks. They make that choice.
I
It's
understand
not
that, yeah.
so these idols. They make the choice. They want to look good. So for
Mm-hmm.
wanting to look good, they make the choice. Okay, I'm not gonna eat these carbs, which
Yeah.
is it's nothing wrong with. And the problem is the fans assume, oh, he
They're
has an
doing for a long
eating.
period of
No,
time.
well, maybe they are doing. Maybe that's just their lifestyle. Who
Mm.
cares? The problem is fans are assuming just because they are on a diet, oh, they have eating issues. No, they
Yeah, but
don't. It's just a life choice they made. They're on a diet, they follow a strict diet. Doesn't mean it's
yeah.
an issue. That means that's their choice they made.
But if they're making this life choice and they're filming it, you're now involving everyone else into your life choice where it's open for criticism. Now, can you be mad at fans for criticizing what you're presenting online? Like we're posting right now online, we're open to criticism. And now I'm gonna be, oh my god, they make me feel this way because they criticize. I'm open to criticism because I post this online.
Right, you're right.
Doesn't help them. It just piles on more pressure and unwarranted scrutiny. Imagine being Han and seeing fans insist you're lying about feeling better. How is that supposed to feel? Spoiler alert, it's not supportive, it's emotionally draining. What's worse is the performative nature of it all. This isn't about genuine concern, it's about fans trying to flex their imaginary closeness to idols by claiming they've figured them out. Newsflash, you don't know these people, you know the curated version of them they've chosen to share with the world. That's
True.
it. Trying to dissect their every move is creepy. Idols are already suffocating under the weight of impossible expectations. And now they can't even breathe on a variety show without someone accusing them of faking their smiles.
Yeah,
5.
that's
Why
tough.
international fans find IU boring. IU's legacy is unmatched. She's like the Taylor
Okay.
The
That,
songs are boring.
excuse me. IU went through a lot. Okay. I feel like her music is a reflection of the things that she has gone through and her trying to heal from that. So for them to call her boring, what do you want her to do?
No, I
You want
mean
to sing her
her
about.
songs are boring. I mean, it is what it is. We don't have to pretend they're not. They are
Mhm.
boring. Her
But it's for an
personality might be
audience.
interesting.
It's for an
Yeah, right.
audience.
For us, we're not there for to listen for K ballads. I mean, I'm not interested. It's boring to me. It is what it is.
Swift of Korea, only with better vocals. But many fans
But they
find her
say
music
she's
and vocals
boring.
Right.
Oh,
I don't think she's
wait.
boring as a person. Her story we watched is interesting. Well, not even interesting. It's sad. She
It's
went through a
sad.
lot of stuff. Yeah, it's not. We feel bad for her. So
Yeah.
I don't think she's boring as a person. But her music, yeah, her music is.
style flat. And it's because a lot of IU's sound leans on soft, mellow vibes and emotional ballads with minimal choreo, which can feel sammy or lack excitement if you're into more upbeat or dynamic music. Her
Right. That's exactly. I'm into more beat or dynamic music, so it is what it is. Nothing against her personally.
voice, while super skilled, is pretty understated. She doesn't go for those big dramatic moments or flashy vocal tricks. So if you're into more powerful singers, she might not stand out. Plus, her lyrics are super poetic and introspective, which is great if you're into dissecting deeper meanings. But not everyone wants to sit and analyze songs, they just want to vibe. For some people, her music
Right.
feels like it's catering to a specific emotional niche. And if you're not in that space, it can feel kind of flat.
Yeah, I think that was a good summary of her. I don't. I think that was fair because that's what it is.
Mhm. That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, we end on that note?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible. Bye.